say my name. My name is Deja Brown,
And you're listening to
and you're listening to
Open Mic
the Open Mic
Podcast.
Podcast. Pop, podcast.
Yes, I said
Uh-huh.
no, no, no more trouble. I gotta do it this way because it's a copyright infringement. Oh yeah. What's going on, everybody? I gotta warm up real quick. Hold on. Oh yeah. And I want to welcome everybody to Open Mic Radio After Dark podcast, 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 podcast. Yeah, I've been eating chicken wings. I'm not gonna freestyle. Welcome everybody to the episode of my radio podcast. I got my man Angel Penn in the building. What up, Angel?
What up, homie? How's it going?
It's going. I wanted to get my levels right. I let somebody use my podcast equipment. It is 12:59. It is September 28th, and it's a Thursday.
Yep.
It's going up on a Thursday. My man Angel Penn, I texted him in the middle of the night. I said, "What are you doing?" These were what I like to call "Are we fucking hours?" Okay, I called Angel and I texted him. I said, "What are you doing?" Angel said, "Nothing." I'm like, "You want a pod?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "This may or may not be the gayest conversation we're having right now." It's 1 a.m. on a Thursday. Like no one has to go to work. As always, as a tradition, I like to switch out my wind buffer. Excuse me, one quick. We was yellow.
And by nothing, I usually mean I'm doing something with video, but that counts as nothing.
We're going blue, Angel.
Oh, okay. Blue. Like literally going blue? Like
We're going blue.
you about to say some wild stuff? Like
I mean, Angel, you have a whole show called Stand Up Comedy Wrestling where the majority of it is everybody gets to say how much they hate that particular person's mother. Everybody laughs. So I mean,
dirty comedy is fun, you know?
Yeah, it's fun and it's dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets a good view of my office. Periodically, you're gonna see me look like this because the monitor is here, but the camera is here. So I gotta look at Angel.
Yeah. And you know, most people they would set up their camera before they started recording, but you like to do it during the show. It's pretty cool.
Everybody wants. I need everybody to know that I'm pretty. This is a really unprofessional podcast. This podcast is unprofessional as fuck, yo.
Yeah, as it should be.
Who records? What time is it? Jesus Christ! What time? Who records 1:01 in the morning? Me. Who doesn't like? Who doesn't have like? I'm recording like I ain't got to do nothing tomorrow. You know?
You don't. You ain't got nothing to do.
I got work to do, man.
You only have several jobs and a family. That's not a lot.
Not a lot, yo. I watched my daughter today get stomped in volleyball. That was amazing.
Hold on, what happened? A few days ago, you were all excited that she got in the game, and now you're like, oh, she got stomped.
Yeah, she got stomped, yo. I mean, but she didn't get in the game, so her team.
Oh, so it's not her fault.
Not her fault, yo. Her team, she ain't getting the game.
So that's why they messed up. They should have put her in.
I mean, she was ready. She didn't. She had the knee pads up. The knee pads was up. That means she meant business, and she didn't get into the game. So I mean, I'm not one of those dads that go ham when their daughter doesn't get in the game. I'm like, you know what? The point is, baby girl, is as long as you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready. And when she got in the game, that one time, I was happy, but I was like, next time she could have gotten the game sooner if the knee pads was up. You
think it's a wardrobe malfunction? That's why they didn't let her in.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, the coach probably saying you're not ready for the game because your knee pads around your ankle. It ain't ankle pads; they're knee pads. Get them knee pads above your ankle, above your knees. And she got them up, and she was ready to go. And that dude did like this and went around her. Got stomped so bad. I went to the other opponent's bleachers. I wanted to join the team.
You weren't even claiming that team.
Yeah, I didn't even. My daughter saw me walk away. She said she would have did the same thing, and I was like,
Dang,
yeah,
that's rough.
I said, baby girl, ain't nothing personal. So I'm just saying that it's 15 of us and it's 30 of them. I'm gonna go ahead and mosey on over. There's no loyalty in middle school sports.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing on the line right now other than self-esteem and motivation. And she's happy and I'm happy, and I vow not to miss a game. I haven't missed one yet.
That's great. You're a good dad.
Yeah, I haven't missed one yet, but the day will come. And actually,
So it's a countdown.
it's a countdown. The day will come where it's like either watch my daughter sit on the bench or go get some money, and I'm going to choose get some money. And that is the day where this asshole of a coach is going to let her start, and that's when I'm going to be sad.
Yeah. And she's gonna remember that because according to every movie, a child will never remember that one game that the dad missed.
Dude,
They never show the dad at all the boring ass games where they don't even get to play. They just show the one time.
The one time she looks off into the stands and the spot I'm always sitting at is empty because she finally got in the game. Nope, I'm gonna be at every one, buddy.
In the movie version, you come with a legitimate excuse, but it's not good enough for the movie. It's like I was featuring for Chris Rock. It's like, but you weren't there, Dad. It's one of those.
Yeah, it'd be something like I'm working a triple to afford Christmas gifts for my family, and they're like, yeah, but you wasn't there, Dad.
Now that I think about it, I think all movies are just the different sides of the situation, but they never know. There's a kid whose dad is always gone off to work, and then there's a dad who's trying to make Christmas happen. Somebody just needs to combine these two movies to show like, oh, it was just a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, someone needs to. It's never a part two that shows, what happens afterwards, like the reconciliation, at dad's funeral, because it's always at dad's funeral. Dad, Paul, I'm sorry.
Not Paul. This is clearly a period piece if we're saying Paul.
Paul, I'm sorry, Paul. I didn't mean to hold my senior year in middle school varsity volleyball game against you. I knew you had to work a triple to pay for my Christmas gifts.
But by the way, you know what they never address in the movie? The kid isn't doing whatever sport that they claim is so important. Like if this were like Michael Jordan, and it was like, damn, I should have gone to some games. I messed that one up. But it's like, nah, they don't even do the sport in the movie. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, it's like
you paid for college and now you're a lawyer. That's the thing that matters.
Yeah, but you missed that one chess game. That one chess game. Like I lost, Paul. I lost. you wasn't in the one spot I need you to be at. Like, against me. I had a whole I got ran over by the 18-wheeler, son. You missed my chess game.
Yeah. That movie's just hate on dads. That's really what it's about.
Not all dads, just black dads. Just
right?
Black ones.
Fences. I've never seen Denzel. Denzel was nicer in Training Day.
Denzel actually fought to have his son get a new heart. Remember John Q?
Oh yeah, John Q.
John Q. He was like, but he had to go through extremes. Like he had to turn into Training Day to get that heart. Like my son won't bury me. I will bury my son. I won't bury my son. My son will bury me.
And did he do the down pointing? That's when he's making a good point. Yeah, the down point, the Denzel down point.
That mouth drop down. that mouth drop.
I've been bringing up Denzel a lot, and specifically John Q, when talking about this whole Hassan Minaj thing. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
All right, so this comic, he's a comedian. He put out 2 specials, and then he did an interview with, I think, the New York Times or something like that, or Washington Post, somebody like that. And they fact checked it, and it turns out he was making a lot of it up.
Oh no!
Now regular people are like horrified because they don't know that comics will say whatever is the funniest. They don't care about the truth.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to some comics and they go like, yeah, but he shouldn't have lied about that. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with it? It was like, yeah, he just lied about stuff that made people sad. Yeah, he's trying to emotionally engage to make the punchline that much stronger. And I said, you don't look at Denzel Washington and be like, hey, man, you shouldn't have taken over that hospital. You should have got social services to help you out instead, right? And I specifically kept using John Q as an example because I was like, yeah, that's a crazy thing. We only accept it in movies because we're like, oh, we understand this man's background. I'm like, what about all the people he kidnapped? He was wrong. He shouldn't have done that.
Just like Samuel L. Jackson in the Negotiator, he was like, I gotta prove my innocence by hijacking the police building. Like,
yeah.
Redhead Samuel Jackson.
Man, that's me and my family quote that movie all the time. We just yell randomly, "You want my blood? Come get some." And then for some reason we kept making him more and more country every time we did it. So we made him sound like some hillbilly just yelling.
Yeah, Samuel, you clearly could tell Samuel had about enough, and he was close to retirement, I believe, and they tried to screw him over his retirement. He said, I had about enough of this shit. I'm shutting this thing down. If you ever
look back shot center mass triangle formation. Come on, that's an assassination. I remember this movie.
You if you pay attention to like those movies back, I think wouldn't that movie come out like late 90s, early 2000s?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. If you look at it now in the year of the Lord 2023, you'll see how trash some special effects were. And it was like, man, I cannot believe. Like I remember watching like old Bonanza with my grandma and stuff like that.
Bonanza.
Yeah, I preface it with my grandma. I don't.
I know, but I'm saying I didn't even know that was still airing. How?
It's not.
You're not that old.
Yeah, my grandma. I was watching. I was a kid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I moved the camera because I'm keeping it real because I'm tired of doing this. So you can see that my Rockefeller poster right here is where I get all my inspiration to slap niggas. But like they used to use the cap guns like yeah, and then it was like, oh man, these special effects are trash. But now looking at the special effects, like my kids like, God dang, this shit is trash. I'm like, it's the Ninja Turtles. Look, we did the best we could.
What, they're hating on the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah,
wow.
Hate on the Turtles, man.
Wait, was it part 3? Because I hate that one too.
Part 3 was trash. Is that the one where they gonna put the camera back? Because this is stupid.
That's where they time travel. Part 3. That's the worst.
Yeah,
one.
That's when I knew that they needed to just take a break. Like when yeah, I like one because of the soundtrack. 2 was dope. And then 3
1 was the very, very serious one. Too serious for children. And then 2, they overcompensated and they made it really funny, which I like. 2 is my favorite because I'd rather have. I don't watch sad movies except for John. But I don't like watching sad movies because I don't like feeling sad. I want to be happy, so I'd rather watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. But I do respect those who think that 1 is the best.
Well, actually, 1 is near and dear to my heart because 1 was the first movie I ever seen.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was the first movie I went to the movie theaters to see was Ninja Turtles when it came out.
Mine was, I think, Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Oh no, my brother corrected me. He said Power Rangers. So 95.
That's David. David, if y'all don't know, David and Angel together are the Samoan SWAT team, even though they're Dominican.
Wait, was that an actual team, the Samoan SWAT team?
Yes, in the NWA. Samu.
Wow, not NWA.
Yes.
You remember the Head Shrinkers?
Yeah, they're the same exact people.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, the Head Shrinkers were nothing more than the Samoan SWAT team in the NWA.
I love the Head Shrinkers because his power was just he had a hard head. And as someone with a very large head, I appreciate that being their superpower.
You know what's funny about those wrestlers back in the day, like the colored wrestlers, like all of them were all supposed to be like empty-headed. So if they headbutted you, it didn't hurt them, but it just hurted you. And like as a kid, you're like, yeah, look at them hard heads with them dumb asses. And then you grow up, you realize that might have been slightly racist.
Oh, everybody's like a shaman or from the jungle or do voodoo, like
yeah. Like
and then if they were a regular black dude, they were just a regular black dude, like
regular Milkman Johnson.
You remember Duke the Dumpster Drosy?
Yeah, that was the era where everybody had a job. That's what they called it.
Yeah, the job wrestlers.
Yeah,
IRS man.
Repo man. $1 Million Man. IRS. Tatanka.
That wasn't a job. He was just Native American.
Hey, as a person of color, I get it. It's a job to try to stay, try to stay afloat in this white man's world. It's a job to be an Indian, I guess.
Here's the question though.
Mm.
Was that dude even a person of color, or was it just a white dude with a tan? Because they did that back then.
Hey man, I remember when everybody thought Johnny B. Bad was a white dude in blackface.
Oh wait, I don't even remember Johnny B. Bad.
He was Mark Merrow.
Oh
Yeah,
wait,
Johnny B. Bad was
Mark Merrow isn't Latino?
No. He might have been. I don't know.
Hey, look, back then, I would not put it past them to just be like, you kind of look like you're Hispanic.
Yeah.
Scott Hall wasn't.
Yeah, Scott Hall was very much a white man. Very much so.
Now I'm looking up Mark Merrow to see. Oh my goodness, he might have just been a white dude with oh, he was married to Sable at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was married to
Johnny
Sable.
B. Bad, Mark Merrow, and the Wild Man.
He was the wow man.
Yeah, he's from New York. Yeah, I don't think he's any kind of ethnic.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's wild.
Made this man dress up as Little Richard, Golden Globes champion. Mr. Tutti Frutti. His finishing move was the Tutti Frutti, the Wop Baba Lou Bop. Ernest the Cat Miller, 3-time karate champion, dancing to James Brown. It's just weird. It's just weird. Am I looking directly at the camera? But yeah, we went on a good little 17-minute rant. So, Angel, it's been a while, man. How you been?
I've been good, got back from Europe. It was the most expensive thing I've ever done in my life. I don't recommend it. The trip, I recommend the trip, but not the actual paying for it. That's crazy. If you can't afford to go to Europe, don't. I did it backwards. I just went.
Hey man, you know what? It's better to experience something and regret it than never experience it and regret it.
Man, you just made up that saying right now.
I stumbled on that saying because I was like, I gotta make sure I gotta nail this landing.
You just remixed. It's better to have loved and lost than to never to have loved at all. I know what the original one you were basing it off of, Mike.
It's better to ask forgiveness than ask permission or something like
that. That Mike, your old black man character need better like quotes. Like,
oh no, look, my quotes are banging, yo. Like doodadding on the doodaddle. That's one of my go-tos.
Wait, what is that? What is that?
Huh?
What does that mean?
When you over here doodaddling on the doodaddle, it explains a lot. Like if someone just sit there and doing shit, you like, man, what you the doodaddle on the doodaddle? Just walk the fuck away.
That's the key. Walk away before they get asked follow-ups.
That's all you gotta do, man. Mike, what you doing, man? I'm over here doodaddle on the doodaddle. I call her Coach Alex. Y'all know her as bartender Alex. It just depends. I'm gonna get her on the podcast one day, but I always hit her when I'm in her class and she be like explain the exercises. I mean, you gotta be doing all this jumping and carrying on. So she all this it's gonna be any running and carrying on. I'll make sure you can do none of that jumping and carrying on. Like, yeah, all that carrying on going on. Like, it's just little stuff. Just little stuff. I've been
Wait, Alex is in your gym?
Yeah, she's my coach.
Oh, that explains why she's so much stronger than you.
Well, I wouldn't say stronger than me. I also wouldn't go as far as to say that to her face because she's violent.
Oh no, I told her she's the strongest woman I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. No,
very proud of it.
I've actually worked out with her several times outside of the gym, and she's weak sauce, so she won't hear this part. I won't edit that clip into something that's going to cause controversy. She's weak sauce. However, I lift with her. Like she's strong, she's strong, but I mean, I'm like, girl, get out the way. Psh, trash. She over here doodaddling on the doodaddle. Like it just fits. Like you ever like be talking about something and you can't get the words together. Do that on the do that.
I mean, I usually just stop and think and see if I can figure out what I want to say. But I
Nah,
like
yo.
your strategy.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even do the full doodle on a doodle. Sometimes it's just a whole bunch of doodling. Just doing a little doodling, walk
That's
away.
it. Just a little doodling.
Yeah. Sometimes it gets me out of conversations I ain't want to be in the first place. Like say we're talking about something and like, man, what you doing, man? I'm over here doodling. What the hell are you talking about? I know, right? I gotta go. I'm out of here.
It's a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
Yeah, I got that. I tell my kids before they go to school, hey, have a good day at school. Make sure you learn something. I don't care what you learn as long as you learn it. Takes the pressure off. Because what if you don't learn shit at school, but you learned that you don't like chocolate milk? Well, you learned something. You learned something.
Mm.
So
Did
that's
you
why
ever get what'd you learn at school today? Hit them with the what'd you learn at school today, and they say nothing.
yeah, I was like, so for the whole 8 hours, you just didn't learn nothing. But that's because I know as a kid I didn't learn shit in school. Like I didn't learn anything because I wasn't paying attention. But if think about if your parents told you, I don't care what you learned as long as you learn it, and then I say, hey, what did you learn today? And you come off with some shit like, yo, I learned that the lunch table tray hurts when you hit somebody with it, or you get hit with the tray. Well, you learned something. You mad at that? You took something home with you.
Just setting the bar super low for your kids. Every parent's dream.
Hey, why would I put the pressure that was put on me on my children? They're good. They don't. My son AB on the road, my daughter AB on the road. Exceptional kids. You know, my daughter's at the other end of the bench. I got up and walked to the other end to the winning team's bleachers because it looked like it was a party over there, and there was no party going over Woodbridge. It was a lot of fussing and carrying on. See how carrying on fit in? See what I'm saying? All that fussing and carrying on. I ain't got time for that. So I do daddled over there to the other side and do some doodling.
I was on the honor roll, but technically they shouldn't have given it to me. But they kind of gave it to me because I was almost on the honor roll every time.
Yeah.
Because I would always have a C in behavior. It was all A's and B's, and just one C in behavior.
Andrew, did you have an attitude problem growing up?
Nah. So it was one of those. I promise you, I'm not saying this to brag. I was just smarter than everyone, so I would finish early, and I'd be bored, so I just start talking. I couldn't shut the hell up because I was done early.
I can see that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can see that. I'm gonna move my camera this way now. I just did it.
Did you ever know somebody who did what is it, gifted and talented, like in like middle school or high school?
Yeah, that's my son actually. My son, he has ADHD, so he's really smart. And he's really like he's not like gift like I'm put this. He's not he's smart, but he also like he has like confidence issues. But once he get it, he locked in. And once he's locked in, if it's boring him, he's done. So like he needs fidgets and stuff like all the gadgets and gadgets and gizmos that they give kids now to concentrate at school and learn the things I didn't have. Like I'm pretty sure I had ADHD. I guarantee you, I was bored as fuck and I couldn't read and I couldn't focus. And my mama told me, "You ain't got that. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy. Just got to beat him." And just got to beat him. And lo and behold, I had a disorder. And I just pass the shit down to my son, and my son like because like he plays his hair like that's a lot of and you know.
There wasn't a chance that you were just too smart and bored.
No, man, just.
I'll be honest. When I got in trouble and the teacher offered that up as the reason, man, she literally saved my ass because my mom was about to beat the hell out of me that night. And I was like, nah, he's smart. And then he finishes early and then is bored.
The crazy thing is, I got that same excuse and I still got my ass whooped. Find something else to do was the reason I was told.
Yeah.
Find something else to do. Like, what the hell am I gonna do? I can't scrabble on paper because then if I scrabble on paper, then I'm wasting paper. Then guess what? Waste the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm off doing some other tasks I'm not supposed to be doing, get in trouble. So what you want me to do? Do that?
I mean, but here's the thing, right? Those advanced classes sometimes aren't advanced at all, which is what I found out. Because I was at that point by middle school, I was like, I don't like school, and I'm doing bad at school. But I was like a math wizard. Like math was just like, it just made sense. It was super easy for me. And I was bragging like, oh yeah, I'm in GT math to this other kid. He was like, yeah, I'm on chapter 13. And he's like, we're on chapter 13. And I'm like, what? And I was like, yeah, our homework tonight is to do all the even numbered questions 1 through 20. And I'm like, that's the same assignment I got, but I'm doing 1 through 70. Like they just gave us more work. You learn the exact same speed, but they just made you work more. And I told my teacher that, and he said, yeah, that's how it is. And I go, I'm not doing homework anymore. I just told him to his face, and I didn't. I refused because I was like, I know how to do all the questions and answer them quickly. So why am I doing all this homework for?
Why am I in a rush?
Right? They're punishing me for being smart. It felt like, you too smart, so we'll just give you extra work. And then he said you wouldn't show your work on tests. And I was like, but I finished first. So how I can't cheat if I'm the first one to finish.
Yeah. He was like, so this is what we're doing?
Yeah. But he was a nice guy because he was like, all right, yeah, he is smart. So what he did is like, look, you didn't do no homework. You're gonna get a C, but I'll give you some big project that's kind of fun to do, and that'll bump you up to a B. And I did the project, got bumped up to a B, but I didn't have to do any homework, so I win at the end.
But did you really win, Angel?
I mean, I saw my family. I wasn't going to college, so who am I working so hard for? You know?
Well, Angel, that sounds like a terrible plan. Now that we
and guess what? It turned out that I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty bad, but it's okay. You know? All that matters is that I'm happy now.
That's right. You know, some of the smartest kids I was in school with aren't doing too well right now. All you people that was in AP, with the AP honor roll and all that stuff, all those. I see you on Facebook. We see you.
It's actually kind of the opposite for me. They're pretty successful. All the good students that I knew. Not successful like they're rich and balling, but like they ain't struggling. Yeah. They don't know what hardships are. The pandemic, they were fine during the pandemic, those people.
But Angel, you set the bar, Angel. You went God got me. God got me. He knew I was about to say some slick. You just came back from Europe, Angel. Everybody may not went to Europe.
Oh, you know what? But they also don't have a $15,000 bill that's just sitting there waiting for them.
Well, I mean, they might actually make about 15,000. So that, I mean, there's things, Angel.
Yeah. My life is pretty good despite all the consequences for living the life that I choose.
Yeah, I mean, Angel. I wouldn't look at it like that. I'll look at it as, you're doing God's work.
You're just trying to force positivity into my life.
I kind of did.
I'm doing God's work, telling dirty jokes to strangers.
You're kind of doing God's work right now, You're doing the Lord's work.
I will say this. I am happier than anyone I know because I get to do exactly what I want to do. So, yeah, I don't got money and I don't have nice things, but my life is pretty cool. Got to work with Kevin Nealon. My brother just whispered, "Man, you got tons of nice things." Yeah, I just spend my money very specifically. So like I don't got like nice clothes, but I got a 75-inch big screen TV, 2 of them. I didn't buy both of them. One is for my brother, one is mine.
Sounds like a humble brag to me.
I mean, but I don't have anything else. I only got the big TVs. Like I got the new Xbox. David, you gotta shut up. Stop correcting me, all right? Yeah, David, nobody values these video games behind it. All right, that's just we value it. We value it.
Angel's like, hey David, unless you want to be on this podcast, shut your ass up.
Exactly. He's a backseat podcaster.
He's like, he better have enough of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up here trying to. So I'm listening to Angel, but I'm also I can't get into specifics because there's a underhanded plan that I'm doing. But essentially, what happened is I locked out my other phone, and and buddy,
The special phone.
Yeah, I may or may not have to go to the AT&T store.
Oh man, come on.
Oh, wait a minute. We'll get back to that later. So real quick, we're at 30 minutes here, and I just wanted to I ain't seen my man Angel in a while. Next episode I might do a twofer because tomorrow, later today, I'll be recording with the fantastic Elizabeth Booker Houston.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, so I'm gonna drop that episode next week. I'm recording with her tomorrow. However, I wanted to touch on what me and Angel did this weekend, which I did a circle back, Angel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll circle back to everybody that came to the seminar. We got to come up with a name. I'm noticing there's a certain comic. We don't know her. She's kind of new, but she's doing a seminar now talking about her. Did you see it? Did you ever see it?
I did not see it.
Somebody's doing a seminar like, yeah, if you want to get into comedy,
that's interesting.
And then you too can go and you too can come to my seminar and I'll tell you all about it. And
you should send me a link to this so I can see it because I'm curious as to who we're talking about.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw it, I laughed and I kept going. I don't like to put people down on the podcast, but behind closed doors, my man, look at this shirt here. Would you believe this shirt? But I mean, it's no. I mean, it ain't it ain't nothing. That's going to mess with what we got going on. But we did a seminar, man. It was kind of something that I randomly thought about, and and whenever I think of something, I always drag Angel into it. And what are your thoughts, Angel?
Well, what's crazy about it, I had this exact same idea. That's why I was prepared. Like, we did this very last minute. It just kind of like, yo, we got an opening. Let's do it on this day. And I was surprised how many people came out that last minute. And it was an idea that I had for a long time, to the point where when you told me about it, I thought we had talked about it. And that's why you're like, oh, let's execute on this idea that we both had. And then turns out, nah, we just randomly came to the same conclusion. So it was learning how to be a host and how to get booked at comedy clubs. And I learned some stuff too. It was fun because me and Mike don't see eye to eye on 100% of it, but that's the great thing about comedy, is that there's no right way to do it.
Yeah.
Right. There's best practices. That's why I say DMV best practices. There's best practices, but you can do it any other way.
Yeah, there's a right way. There's no right way or wrong way. Just the way that I tell you to do it, or don't talk to me. Or don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me.
There was a lot of the points where I'm going through my notes of like, oh yeah, we got to discuss this and that, and you were hitting them before I even brought it up, just naturally, because it's like, oh, this is where I was going to go with the conversation anyway. So we were. It was kind of weird that we were so in sync on what we found to be very important in these conversations, and that it was like, but it was like accidental because you didn't know what I was going to bring. I told you 5 minutes before we stepped out there, and I was like, all right, these are the topics I'm gonna hit, and then I'm all the book and stuff. You handle that, and it was dope. It was a great. People were very appreciative. People kept sending me thank yous. I wish those thank yous were Venmo hits, but I understand.
I have a pretty solid job, so I'm not too.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of text messages, and like I said, I'll circle back. I call them my babies. I got come up with other name, but at the moment, I like my babies, and and oh my god, why did I do that? And I think in like to your point, yeah, there was a lot of things that I didn't agree on. I think in these classes or seminars or things of nature, you got to work with somebody that both mutually respect one another on the daddle, and that mutually respect everyone. Because I mean, because sometimes I've been in a couple of these before, where you can like you have your point of view, and then someone else has their point of view, but then sometimes at some point it becomes a pissing contest. It becomes a you have a point, but I'm gonna try to up your point, and it's like there's some things that you said that like I know nothing about dark humor. I know nothing about it. That's your bad, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I my counterpoint is um like I told them, and it, like comedy is subjective, you know. So I mean, but I don't like doesn't mean necessarily that you can't get booked, and it's something we'll talk about the next seminar too. But it's just something that I didn't mention is a lot of times bookers like to book to their taste and not to the audience. And if you know anything about me, most of my business advice comes from Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the owner of the World Wrestling Federation. And like real shit. So I remember one time it was doing the Ultimate Warriors self-destruction DVD before he became cool again. And he said something about it was a time when the Ultimate Warrior had left. He had, like it was SummerSlam. It was like the match from heaven and the match from hell or some shit like that. It was like Sergeant Slaughter, was Sergeant Slaughter Million Dollar Man? No, it was Sergeant Slaughter Iron Sheik and Adeline Di Casey or something like that. But it was some other guy who had plantar fasciitis. He just died too. And against Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. And the Warrior just had to hold up the WWE for like 15 or 10 grand, whatever. And he basically held him up. Vince said he'll give him his money, but as soon as he gave him the money, he got him in the ring. They wrestled. When he came back to the curtain, he basically fired him as soon as he came to the curtain, like, hey, thank you for doing the job. You're fired, right? But
You're
then
fired.
you're fired, buddy. You're a piece of shit, right? And then immediately, like right around WrestleMania, he came back. And everybody's like, I can't believe you brought him back after he held you up. He said, my responsibility, if there's an appetite for this particular act, my responsibility is to the audience, not to me, not to the company. My responsibility is to put butts in the seat and make the audience happy. And then I take that advice. If I flip it as a comedy booker or a comedy producer, my responsibility is not to me. Like what I think is funny, um, which isn't a lot, by the way. I don't watch a lot of stand up. Let me keep it a buck. I don't watch a lot of stand up. I have people that I like. Oh man, I like David. Or like I'm not studying comedy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody study comedy. I see something that sounds similar to me, and I'm like, fuck, I can't do that. So I'm like, I'm not watching it. But I watch like Dion Cole, and I'll watch like once. Anyway, I said to say that. So my thing is I don't like dark humor, but I can't say I don't like dark humor, and then you send me a tape, and the audience laugh. That means I can't. I gotta book you because you're funny. Because the objective is to be funny. It's not about what I like in comedy. That's why it always disturbs me or it always confuses me when men always say female comics are funny. Because like I said in the seminar, like, well, their comedy isn't for men. It's for women, So why would you find period jokes funny if you never had a period? You know what I'm saying? I could talk about how it feels to be a man with a woman who's on her menstrual cycle, but to be the woman who has a menstrual cycle, telling jokes
It's a
about how it
different
is.
perspective, yeah.
Yeah, it's a different perspective. It's like when I did my comedy album. When I did my first comedy. This one behind me right here is Lifetime's Oh Might Be. The three openers was Michelle Sometimes, Glow Butler, and Adela Banks. What they all have in common? They're all women. You know what they can't talk about? Being a married man with with a daughter. Can't do it. It's impossible. So they could talk about all the womanly stuff they want because my perspective was going to be totally different when I did my taping, when I got on stage. So it's those things. Like if you're not going to book with that with the idea of booking to please your audience, then what are you booking for? What are you that's real gatekeeping right there. You know, so I don't know what the hell was talking about, Angel.
Well, we were talking about like the different perspective and like dark comedy and stuff like that. Like I love dark comedy. I have a show that's entirely based on dark comedy, but I am aware that that limits who would want to go to my show. And I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Right? What I'm trying to find out is there an audience for that in DC? Well, no one made the show, so I made the show to be like, all right, we are punching down. We are saying the things that other comics will say, crazy jokes that we only tell each other, but we never bring it to the stage because the audience sometimes just isn't willing to give us the benefit of the doubt that it's just a joke.
Well, yeah, and they shouldn't because it's
Yeah,
pretty mean.
it's not their job.
Yeah, it's their job. They're there to be entertained. And you know what's funny about that show? It's probably one of the funniest shows that's going on right now, and it's still climbing. If you really think about it, because you have some repeat customers and stuff like that. Every time, there's always I always see the numbers tick up by 1 or 2 or 3, but it's still ticking up. So there's an audience for every. That's what makes comedy great because there's so many different genres of comedy. But I think what I get mad about with comedians per se is this comedy policing that's happening. That say, hey guys, stop telling these type of jokes, and it's like, okay, but you're a comedian, right? So I'll stop telling these type of jokes. Will you stop telling these type of jokes, right? Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't want me to tell you what to do. I remember one time I was on a joke and I was talking about being at a nail salon. I was getting a pedicure. And I did the pedicure like voice, right? And the comic walked up to me. I'm not gonna mention her name, but she was like, "Don't do the Korean, don't do the voice like the nail salon was Korean." I'm like, but she was Korean. Like that, don't do that. I'm like, why? Because it's not funny. I'm like, why is it not funny? It's because you're being racist. Like, how can I be racist? I'm black. It's very weird. Like, I'm not, it's not like I was bad. She was saying I wasn't imitating her to be racist. I was imitating her because I was repeating what I heard her say. But it's that type of stuff because we've seen other comedians do the voice, do different voices, and no one bats an eye. But like to walk up to me and just be like, oh, you should do that because it's not funny. And it's like, really? This is what we're doing right now? Because clearly people laughed. Whites and blacks laughed. Even the Korean person laughed. Because it made sense. I don't like people need to stop doing this policing of jokes if you're a comedian, because we already got enough battles to fight. We got people at cookouts say they're funnier than us.
That's one of the things when I was first starting. A lot of times when you start in comedy, you start off with a class of newbies who don't know what they're doing. And coming up together, you kind of like form this tight bond. I didn't have that. I started off with all veterans. So I was always the worst comic in the room. Yeah. And still despite,
No, I said.
I know you enough to fill in the blank. But even then, when I was first starting and I was always nervous and scared about performing, for some reason, I had zero problem telling comics, no, you cannot tell me what to say. This is the reason I'm doing this, is so that I can say what I want to say. Yeah. Now, I'm also aware that there's something called an audience. So I do have clean jokes and jokes that don't offend because I want you to have a good time. But there is a time and place where I could do my jokes that I prefer. And there's a time and place where I was like, all right, how about you back off a little bit and talk about different stuff? But yeah, I had same thing. It was always a girl who was always telling me what not to say. And but you know what ends up happening? Because I always say I can't think in the idiotic way that they think.
Yeah.
And it always made me come up with a stronger punchline in the moment when they were trying to correct me. So they actually were helping me. In the moment, I hated them. But then afterwards, I was like, actually, they made my joke like 30% better because I would have never thought to say X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Real fast. I got a bunch of new followers and they all came from the seminar. I'm like, who is this? This is weird. This is weird. Really,
Yeah,
really
that was the thing about the seminar is we apparently reached a bunch of people who like, I mean, I knew some of them because I run an open mic and it's a real open mic. Like anybody can sign up. So I get to meet the newest of the new comics. But some people I was like, I have no idea who you are. And it kind of makes me nervous because I always try to be out there and like know all the comics who are like just starting out or coming up. And when I don't, I'm like, am I falling off? And I was like, nah, I'm just busy. I'm just getting busier.
Just imagine me walking around these DC streets, these DC comedy streets, and no one knows who I am. I'm just like, great. I remember one time I went back to I'm not gonna mention the room, but I went back to the room. Actually, I don't care. I went back to shenanigans. I said it. I went to shenanigans, and and dude was like, "Oh, hey, I mean, if you want some time, sign up." And I just kind of like looked at him. I'm like, "Man, you know I am," but I'm not signing up. And I just walked. Like, this room is here because of me. What are you doing? I built this room. Who do you know who I am? Oh, that's what I've got to do. I've got to tell them about you got to do your comedy research. Some things are just old school, but yeah, like you got to do your comedy research. Know who you're talking to. I remember one time I told Clay Miles, and I was like year one. I tried to throw him a note. He was like doing comedy 7 years. Clearly, mistakes were made, but lessons were learned. Like, hey man, how long you been on comedy? And he was like, and I was like, yeah, because you got to do this, this, and this. I was only doing like for 6 months. You got to do this, this, this. He was like, huh, really? He was like, yeah, because you know, woo, woo, woo. And then like he went on stage, murdered, crushed. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, how long you been doing comedy? He was like 7 years. Like,
At my open mic, someone was clearly did not know who Jamal Russell was. It was like, hey man, you could just put your name down here. Like, because normally if you know the person, you go like, oh yeah, I got you. I'll put you down, Jamal. He had no idea who Jamal was. He's like featuring at the Improv and headlining here and there, and it's like, nope, nobody. He's out of the new comedy game. So they had no idea who he was, and I was just like, I made no eye contact because I didn't want to laugh, but I knew he was like, what the hell? How does he not know who I am?
yeah,
Like, you don't go to open mics, bro.
and why should he?
Exactly.
And why should he?
I'm old school in that. I like just going in and testing out super raw material, and I don't like to use my my showcase people as test dummies, but I get it though.
I don't. I just but yeah, I think the seminar was good. I think I learned something because it wasn't one of those things that I think for me, and I'm a say the reason I want to do it. There's a lot of people who want to charge like big money, right? To give out some of this stuff. And secret is comedy is too fluid. You know, like the like what we gave, there's some stuff that's gonna stick, right? But in a year or two, everything we talked about is gonna be completely irrelevant. When I came up, everything was signed up on site. And you may or may not have gotten on and you got bumped and you had to sit there and deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And because you already paid for parking, you basically like, yep, I guess I'm just gonna sit here and watch the show.
Yeah.
You know, not everything is signed up on site via your laptop, you know, so you can quietly get rejected for the privacy of your own home. And then you plan out your day of what you're gonna do. You like, oh, I ain't getting no mics. I guess I could go ahead and drink at the bar this weekend, you know, some of that. So like the lessons that I teach, like the thing, if I say, hey, yeah, you know, X, Y, Z, like that's completely irrelevant now. But stuff like, hey, there's value in showing up. There's there's, you know, when you do this, you do that. You know, I don't want to give out too many things I said, but it was if you do these things here, this is going to happen. Equate. Oh, also remember you can do X, Y, and Z. You know, those things aren't going to go anywhere in no time soon.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. And people pay what we gave was probably worth. They'll probably try to break that down in like 4 classes. $75 a class. I just want people to understand that what we did would probably be broken down in 4 classes by somebody else, and you will be charging. Then they'll charge like $75 a class, and that's how they're going to eat off of telling you something that we gave you for maybe a rum and coke and $5.
Yeah. Well, that's why when I wrote that post, telling people what it was, I wanted to be very clear on what it was, because I didn't want people showing up like, "How do you do stand up?" I was like, "That's not what we're doing here."
Yeah.
This is for specifically hosting and how to get booked. That is what we are trying to give the people, not how to tell a joke, or this is joke structure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that because I don't know your voice. The secret to joke structure, like like even like joke structure, right? Like joke structure is premise setup punch. Everybody knows that. Third
Mhm.
premise setup punch. That's it. PSP, right? But how you get to that? How do you use that formula? You know, is all indicative of what your voice is in comedy. Just like when we grew up, we had to, take 2 divided by 2, carry the 1. But now they got like Common Core. I'm like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck Common Core is. I had to get sketch paper. Like, no, all you gotta do is do this, this, this. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then by the time my kids go to school, had kids to go to school, it's gonna be some other way to do math. So, like, but the answer is still the same. It's just a different way of doing it. And the same thing when it comes to comedy. Like, it's still a premise setup punch, but your voice is going to dictate the joke and how it's going to come out and stuff like that. So there's really no answer in how to. I can't tell you how to write a joke. What I can tell you is that you want the audio and video, so you can hear, the mistakes and fill in, and you can see the voids. Another one of those things that I came up with on the fly, like I did in the class. Because Angel was like, "You take notes. You got what you got?" I was like, "I ain't got nothing. I'm going to wing it."
Yeah. Which again shows who's the good student and who was the bad student.
Angel was like, "Yeah, we'll go." So, what you think about what I wrote? What you think what I said? Because Angel sent me his whole lesson plan, and I replied back, "Looks good to me." Never read it. Never read it.
Mm-hmm. But then again, you do have how much? Like almost 4 times more experience than me. So you kind of been around the block. So I understand you don't really have to, show your work.
Anyway,
It's like me in math class. I didn't have to show my work. I finished the test faster than everyone.
Angel was like, "Did you see?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, it all looks good to me. Everything."
Yeah, it was fun. It was I kept getting random like, "Yo, thank you." Like that. I learned a lot. I told other people that you're gonna do it again. October 12th. That is the next one. I'm making the social media post tomorrow. That October 12th is when we're doing it at the DC Comedy Loft on Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you missed it the first time, it's okay. Everything was very last minute. So I expect to see more people than the last time, and we will give you the keys to the Comedy City.
Yeah. And then, and to be more specific, we're going to teach you exactly what a host is and what the host responsibility is, and the job of the host. And Angel's going to tell you all that, and then I'm going to tell you why none of that matters. Andrew had a really long list on hosting, and I was like, none of that matters because all I want is this. But it made sense though. Everybody like, oh, because again, and it's not me dissing Angel, but I think for me, it was so much pressure. Every comic wants to go up there and wants to do a great job, but you do even a better job once you understand the structure and what each position brings to a show. Not an open mic. I'm just talking about a regular
show, like a
hey,
3 to 4 man show.
Yeah, 3 man, 3 woman, 2 men, 1 woman, 2 women, 1 man.
Well, I was saying man as in the global humanity, like that, not literally.
Well, I'm covering all my bases. 3 gays, 2 gays, 1 straight, 1 straight, 2 gays. But yeah, once you understand the structure of a show and what each position is supposed to do and what it brings, and if you do a good, like once I learned that, and it took me a while to learn that because for a while I'm like, man, that ain't true. But then when I start seeing the end results of taking that pressure off, then it's like I can really have fun. Because if I had a really good set, it was like boom. And if it was like, oh, they did this, so I still did my job. You know, we could all crush. Crushing is one thing, but there's only there's only like 1 or 2 people that really need to crush. All you got to do is rock the boat and don't let it sink. And that's the best thing about me. That's the best thing about me at all of my jobs. Because the last thing you want me to do is figure out how the job really go. Because then I can start shamming. And then
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Hey man, when I was in the army, I got to E4. They call it the sham shield. And all it means is you've been in long enough to know where all the bodies are buried. You know how to, we getting ready to do a detail? Let me get the fuck up out of here for the volunteer or voluntold. Hey man, you trying to go and do this, knock this out? Let's go. And you just go with your buddies and you just play around a little bit. You already know what to do. Knock it out. Boom. Now we're gonna go hide. Out of sight, out of mind. Or just one of them tasks where it was like, oh, we could hurry up and do this, or we could stretch this task out like for 30 minutes. It's not gonna why would we rush? You know what happens when you rush? Another task. Or we could stretch this task out for like 30 minutes and then go to what you call. We might be able to stretch this task out all the way up to lunchtime.
You know what, that actually revealed how one of my favorite comedians wrote one of his jokes, because he's also was in the military.
Yeah.
And he said he was working with Mexicans, and the Mexicans, the exact number you use, he said they put up a roof in 30 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing? They're just gonna give us another roof.
Yeah.
That's Earthquake, by the way, from DC.
Oh my God. See what I'm saying? That's why I don't watch specials, man. I was just talking.
No, but the lingo must have come from his military background.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. So that's probably where he was like, oh, this would be funny to say.
Just one of those things, man. So I mean, once you know the job, you pretty much can skate through. And then there's other things, because I give out wisdom to people I fuck with. So like I had to give some wisdom out to another comic about hosting and why it's time to go to the next level and things of that nature. But Andrew's 57 minutes and 40 seconds.
I love that you always do a time check like an old school radio show.
Well, no, because it shows right here on the ticker. I don't know if you see the ticker. You see the ticker?
Yeah, I do. I see the ticker.
See the ticker, yo. Yeah. So so it's a good class, and I don't want to call it class. Class, I mean,
Seminar.
It's a seminar.
Yeah,
I like seminar. Seminar sounds different. Sounds like I'm not infringing on another club's class.
Yeah, you know what? Again, we didn't even talk about naming it. I just remember writing down class and being like, that feels weird. So I was like, seminar. Seminar sounds.
Yeah.
The good is that it doesn't sound like class. The bad is seminar also sometimes has a bad reputation.
Yeah. I think it
sounds like we're going to sell you insurance at the end. No, we don't sell you anything. We're just giving you information.
Yeah, we get some information, and I think the cool part, and like I said, for me, I've always I came up in the era where a lot of veterans were trying to always capitalize on younger comics, because the younger comics are always thirsty for knowledge, and I just feel like when you do good, you don't have to. Good always comes back to you. You know, if you do right by people, it always comes back to you. That's why, I book the way that I book. I look out the way that I look out, because at the end of the day, if you do right by people and you do good by people, it don't matter where you at. It always comes back. Like I'm blessed to be in a position, no matter how hard it is to be. And trust me, it's very hard, specifically at this moment, to be in the position that I'm in right now. But just in 3 days, I hung out with Jasmine, Trace Stacks from the Stacks of podcast, which I never listened to, never heard of, but has a following. One of my friends was supposed to come, but she got stuck in Atlanta. And Alex Thomas, who I've seen in every black movie, so many black movies, I could not tell you which black movie he was in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how many black movies he was in. And then this week, I'm going to see. I'm gonna hang out with Afion Crockett, and that's all because of the particular position. And listen to me, it's a very hard position, not by me. Not, it's a very my job is very difficult. Believe me, it's very difficult. Not by me. Hang out with Afion Crockett.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be a dope weekend.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I get to do all that. And at any point in time, I can host for anybody I want to host for. I say all that to say that you do good by people, good things happen. It costs me nothing. It costs Angel nothing to share something that I've learned or that Angel has learned. Because at the end of the day, we could sell you this, and then it could all be wrong, and you could look at us and be like, these niggas don't know what they're talking about. Or we get like 17 new Instagram followers because we were sharing stuff that, hey, I mean, this doesn't sound like it's useful. Oh, this sounds useful. This doesn't sound useful. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm back from the bathroom. Oh shit, he dropped a nugget. He didn't drop a nugget. This so it's like when you take the class part out, you take the monetary stuff out, and it's just like, hey, this is all I know. You could take it or leave it. I don't care. If you feel like it's useful, drop 5. If you don't, carry your ass. I don't care. I don't care.
It's one of those things where my entire survival in the comedy community is based on just people helping me out, and I've just been living off of that the whole time. And Mike doesn't care because he don't need y'all.
Hey, listen.
But I do. I need y'all.
Listen to me. I don't care. Absolutely. I don't want to be. I don't be blurred out. I don't care.
Actually, you're only blurred out when you sit back. When you actually sit up close, you look super sharp and clear on the camera.
Listen to me. If you think I care, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I play a nice guy on TV. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not nice at all. Ask Angel. Ask David.
He's super nice. Yeah, he's actually a super duper nice guy. He's a complete sweetheart. But he just acts grumpy, and sometimes he is. But for the most part, it's just his character. He's harmless. You know, like I'm a nice guy, and I hang out with Mike all the time. I wouldn't hang out with a grumpy dude all the time. He's hilarious. I like grumpy dudes. That's all the guys in my family are grumpy.
I'm a meanie. I'm a meanie.
He's a meanie who's helping out the entire community for free.
If I don't have my insulin,
you don't even take insulin.
If I don't have it.
Yeah, but October 12th is the next one. It's gonna be another fun one. Hopefully it fills out and everyone comes through. All we ask is you just buy one item, and if you found it helpful, drop us a few coins, and there's a Q&A afterwards so that you can ask any follow-ups or anything that you might not have understood. Yeah, but it was a good time.
And if you're lucky, and I unlock my SIM card, I might give up my phone number. But I won't call you, and I won't pick up the phone. So don't text me. I don't want to be bothered because I don't care.
He doesn't care.
I don't care. Even though today I checked on all 10 to 11 people that came to the class, doesn't mean I like them. Doesn't mean I care about their career or what they're doing. Maybe I was bored at the nail salon. I was getting a pedicure. I'm like, let me see what these niggas is doing. Nothing.
Just practicing your Korean voice.
Like nothing. You know what's funny about that person told me not to do the Korean voice. She no longer does comedy. It's
Yep,
crazy.
all of them. Every single one who has corrected me, except for one, they all left comedy.
Yeah, like, so what was you really doing?
Mm-hmm.
They came in comedy for a cup of coffee.
Yep.
As the white folks would say, you was only in here for a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Well, how fast was a cup of coffee? Don't text me. I don't like you. None of you.
I don't. Nah, it's too big of a subject. But one day we got to talk about, do you mind if people just come in just for fun? Because some people are doing comedy just for fun, and some people are doing it as a career. Oh, you hate the just for fun people?
I hate the just for fun people because the just for fun people always get booked. if you review the just for fun people, if you wrote a list of just for fun people, all of them have either been they've been to more venues than you, they've been booked more than you, they got more opportunities than you, and then they leave. And you're like, man, that could have been me. I know one particular comic who got just for laughs, did this, that, and the third, and then was like, the comedy community is toxic. I'm like, well, bitch, why did you get all the opportunities if it's so toxic? How does that work? Another guy, I just got bored with it. What you mean you got bored with it? You was really good at it. You took up, especially when it's like to the point where it's not just the just for fun people. It's those who come in, and you can always tell too. Like one particular comment actually lasted longer. He's out here right now and he's getting it. But there's always a subgroup of comedians who like jump into it and like really, really fast, and then like 9 months later they burn themselves out and then they don't do it no more. And I remember there's one particular comic who said, "Hey man, you don't understand, man." And like he only been doing comedy for like 2 or 3 weeks. He might have been like a couple of months in, whatever, and he still had the same little 10-minute jokes, whatever. And I'm not saying that to be like, whatever, but he wasn't thinking about getting better as a comedian. He like, no, I'm just trying to, make a living. I gotta eat. I'm like, nigga, you only have 10 minutes. Where are you taking these jokes? Where are you? And then like maybe a year or two later, he wasn't doing comedy anymore. He was locked up. But when he got out of jail, he had the same 10 minutes. I think it's interesting to see people who come back and then do their same 10 minutes like 20 years later, and how it's like a relic. It's like, you know how your VCR? Like, no, we're all digital now. We're all digital now.
And my favorite was there's a podcast who would take random questions from the internet and answer them. And one of them was, I just got out of jail. When does WCW Nitro start? And I was like, yo.
Like it's done. It started and it ended.
Yeah. That guy's gonna get some bad news.
That dude probably waited 10 years to get to WCW Nitro.
Is Goldberg still undefeated? Like, he's asking questions like that.
He's been. My question is Bret Hart ever going to defend that? Was the Montreal Screwdriver a job or was it real? Was it a work?
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I don't mind people who are just here just for fun.
No, fuck them. If they want to have fun, go to karaoke.
Well, because if they're just doing it just for fun and then they end up falling in love with it, that's great, right? Now we got a new comic.
No. This ain't church. You're like, hey, you come in, you know what I'm saying? Get the word.
You're doing it with no pressure. The way you give your kids no pressure. Isn't that's something?
No, fuck that. Fuck that. No, man, get the fuck out. Those same, I'm just having fun, are the same people who tell you not to do the Korean joke and then they quit comedy. Get the fuck out now. You're taking up space. Like DC comedy scene is cluttered up as it is. Get the fuck out. You want to do it for fun? Don't take up any. Do it for fun like this. Do Spaghetti on the Beach, but don't apply for any. No, real talk. Do Spaghetti on the Beach. Do all of the ancillary joke mics, right? Don't do none of the major ones. Don't try to go to 808. Don't try to go to Hotbed. Don't try to go to You see, I threw Nightcap in there like it was one of them. Don't try to go to Nightcap. Don't go to Capital Labs. Don't go to the Improv. Don't do any of these things. Just do Spaghetti. Like, do the ones that are just based on like, I just came out here just to run some jokes, drink some beer, hang out with my friends, and then leave. But I'll take that. But that's not what they do, man. That's not what they do. They get in it and then they're like, I'm still having fun. I guess I'll go ahead and do this. Then they take up all this space, and then one day they just leave. Now,
I don't know. I feel like the new class, maybe they're different, but it feels like those who are serious, and those who are there just having fun, they're not going for the gold.
or check this out. Don't even get into the fucking Olympics. Take your ass, get on the beach, sign up, wait, drink beer, get drunk, be like, you know what? I'm too drunk for this, and then leave.
I've had a couple of those where somebody got too drunk and they're like, I'll come back next week. I'm like, hey, thank you for buying the beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-oh. The sleepy bug getting him. Look at him. He's feeling it.
I'm fighting this. I'm fighting this, yo. I'm fighting this, yo. At the end of the day, get the fuck out.
Mike is tired of your bullshit, not me. I'm like, hey, what's up? All right, have fun. Have a good time.
I ain't got time, man. Get the fuck out, yo. And like, I really don't have the time now. So it's like, I don't even want you to waste my time. Like before, I used to just be like, I carry on and everything. Now I'm just like, I don't have the time. Like if you see like people, like I told the people in the seminar, like y'all are here, which means y'all really care about what you want to. So I rocks with y'all. Here is my number. However, like there are people who make excuses, man. There's a lot of people who make excuses for everything, yo, and those are the ones that I do not have time for.
The it's everybody else's fault, people. Yeah, that I definitely agree with. I can't stand those people.
Yeah, I don't have time for I would, man. Like if you start telling me about your day job, you've already lost me.
Yep.
Like, nigga, I got a day job. What are you talking about? Oh man, well, I was with my family. I have a day job and a family. What else you got? I don't want to hear none of this, yo. I don't want to hear none of this. Whatever you're talking about right now, I don't care. When you get calls 3 a.m, because you active on Facebook, then we could talk.
Yeah.
But you don't.
But when you get asked to do a podcast at midnight, then we could talk.
Hey, when you know that the person you asked to do the podcast with wakes up at noon religiously,
yeah,
you know he's gonna be up around 1, so it's fine.
What'd you call it? What hours are they?
Oh, hey, yo, we fucking hours. Hey, yo, you up? We fucking you up? You trying to fuck?
You know how many times I got messages like, "Why are you sending me this at 4 a.m?" I was like, "Because I was working on it at 4 a.m. Like, what do you want me to do?"
Yeah, that's yeah. But I mean, that's like giving you a video. It's different than being like, "Yo, you was active." When you start using words like "you was active" on Facebook, like, nigga, what was you waiting for? Like, how many friends do you have to get to before you get to me to see that my green light was on? Why is my green like I don't talk? Like I was confused. Like I don't even talk to you. Why? Because your circle is in order of activity of people you talk to. How'd you get to me so fast? I don't talk to you. You got to do some pretty heavy scrolling to get to me because I don't talk to you. That's weird. That's
maybe everyone else was inactive and you were the only one. You were the only one.
You ain't got nobody on the West Coast. Nobody traveling. No one went to Europe for 30 days and can't afford to come back home. Nobody. Nobody.
Capri, if you're ever out there, that's why everyone asks, "What's your favorite part?" And I was like, Capri, a small island off of the coast of Italy. It was beautiful. It was awesome.
You know, one thing about Angel and his brother David, mainly Angel, them niggas didn't mind. You would think they would enjoy their trip, but he always found time for some begging. Angel was like, "Go fund me if you like." Yeah. This what is fuel. This one was funded by. He's up here. I'm like, did this nigga just drop his Venmo?
I did because I knew I should not be on this trip at all. So talking about Capri, there was a moment where my sister were on a private boat tour off the coast of Capri, and my sister goes, "This doesn't feel real," and I go, "I don't got a job. My brother don't got a job. You don't got a job. My mom don't got a job. This is not real. We shouldn't be here. We are very irresponsible."
know what I can have right here, Angel?
CDs.
Oh, these are DVDs.
Oh, okay.
What DVDs of?
I don't know, some movie bootlegs.
Bootleg porn movies.
Why? Wait. Okay, I have no idea where this is going. I am very curious as to what point you're about to make. How does me and Capri with no money get to bootleg porn DVDs?
All right, what happened was I forgot I had these on the edge of had these at the edge of my desk, right? So I was cleaning out the storage closet, and there was a box of I got old wrestling DVDs too, right?
Wait, real quick. So this was on the edge of your desk, the desk where your kids sometimes come in and play with the stuff in your room.
Yeah, no, they don't come in this room with us.
Oh, okay. Whew. Okay. Continue. That scared me.
They did. The first disc they would see is Black and Tasty too. So look. So y'all thought I was lying.
Not Black and Tasty too. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So yeah, I went to so I went to the box and I saw all the rest of the DVDs. I got the WrestleMania 20 and all that stuff. Every DVD, because for a long my ex-fiance was sending me DVDs when I was in Iraq. So every pay-per-view that came out, back in the day, they'll drop pay-per-view and then they'll drop the DVD. So you could have the DVD and then she would just mail me the DVD. Anyway, also in said box was a stack of porn. And
I remember, so I was one of the first people, even despite my poverty, I was hip to the whole MP3 on a CD thing.
Yeah.
So I had like an MP3 CD player. So I would have like 12 albums on one CD. And I still remember it was like Cannabis Discography that had a secret file that was hidden. Oh, DJ Clue.
Yeah. I also found all my old mixtape, DJ Clue, Where the Hood At.
Nice. Did you have a secret porn file on one of those? Because I did on my Cannabis CD.
Oh, absolutely. So I got Black and Tasty. And then
no Black Talk?
No.
No Booty Talk. My bad, Booty Talk.
Oh, over here, My Baby Got Back 37.
My Baby Got Back 37.
Oh shoot.
Oh my god.
I got I reviewed some of these too. So I remember now. Like, oh snap. Black Rain 7.
Wait, is it RAIN or REIGN?
Yeah, REIGN.
Nice.
You got to keep it simple. Oh, this is Sugar Pies Honeys 2. What else I got here? Oh, here we go. So this is Dream Girls, which probably is the movie, the actual movie.
Just the regular Dream Girl.
Jimmy got soul. And then Freaks of the Industry, best of the Freaks of the Industry 2.
Best. Disc 2.
Yeah.
So you weren't you didn't have like Ass Parade? No? No Booty Talk? Wait, into what?
Into Thick, yo.
Wow. They were using thick back then?
Yeah, but they was meant for big girls, like fat girls.
Oh, okay. That's a different kind of thick. Yeah, thick means something different now.
Booty Juice 4.
Booty Juice 4, of course. I mean, Booty Juice 3 kind of was a letdown, but 4 is when they really brought the series back.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. This is Into Booty 2. But yo, this is Fatty Girl 6. Now this is a classic. I'm gonna be honest, this is a classic. When I found this one and In the Thick, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to find a way to rip these into
So okay, you know why I think there's a difference is because you had DVDs because you were in the military and I was interneting. So internet black porn was different than DVD black porn. Because I'm not seeing a lot of cross section between us right now.
Spinal Tap 3. Followed by ass, and more ass. Disc 1.
It feels like you were naming these as a joke, but I know that those were the real titles.
Those are the real titles. I'm showing you the real titles.
Yeah.
See. Oh, here we go. Fat Booties 2.
Of course. Of course.
Fat Booties 2, yo.
Fat Booties 2.
And you would think this is a porn waist deep, but it's not. It's an actual movie.
I love the regular movies in between.
It's a regular movie, yo. But yeah, that was weird. But so back to Europe. So y'all went to the island.
It had nothing to do with it. You just remember that you had a porn stack right there.
Brandon Moore hates my ADD because he be telling me like these elaborate stories, and I'm like, hey, did I ever tell you that?
There was like one time when we were doing the seminar where you're like, you brought something up, and I was like, I mean, I don't think that's what I was saying, but okay. I just let it go. I was like, I mean, you made a good point. You did make a good point. It had nothing to do with what I was saying, but it was a good point. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's how I know I had ADHD. I just because I'm gonna keep it a buck. I listened to what you were saying, but I was only waiting for keywords. And as long as I didn't hear like keywords that would trigger me to be like, oh, that like, because you notice every time a keyword would happen, I'm like, you know what, I gotta push back, Angel.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you was like, yeah, that joke is funny, but you probably can't. And as soon as I heard King, I'm like, well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother.
Well, one of the things where you're like, let me push back on it, and then you just kind of agreed with me and elaborated more. Yeah. And I was like, all right, that wasn't a pushback. I was like, a side note.
Yeah,
it was a good time though. It was a good time.
Man, I have the worst ADHD. It's really bad.
Yeah,
I don't know how I've become so successful not being diagnosed with it. It's horrible.
I remember they tried to tell my brother that he had ADD, and I was the only one in the family going, he's just a bad student. Like, he just doesn't like school. And then they pumped him full of drugs and it made him gain a bunch of weight. And my mom was like, oh no, look at what the drugs are doing. I'm like, oh, you mean the drugs? By the way, he was still bad at school. They gave him the medicine, still doing bad in school. Now he's just fat. And then as soon as they made him stop taking the medication, he went back to normal and he was just the same bad student.
Nothing changed. Nothing changed.
David just say, yo, remind me to tell you to write to write his eulogy.
Right in the middle of David's eulogy, I'm just gonna bring up the fact that I got this porn stash and it's nasty girls too.
No, you're gonna interrupt. Like, hold on, let me push back on this. It has nothing to do with what I was saying.
I'm just gonna push back on this thing about David real quick and bring up this Born for Controversy Roddy Piper DVD.
Roddy Piper sounds like a porn title.
But it's not.
It's not. It's like, oh, you ever see Roddy Piper? Take on the Ultimate Warrior. Like, wait, what?
Oh man.
Wait, what was that last pink one? What was that one?
Oh no, back to In the Thick. This is In
the Thick. Oh, okay.
In the Thick. No one asked this, but I'm gonna tell you. And by nobody, I mean you. This was the first porn. This is my first porno that not this particular DVD, but this is the first one when I was like, I'm locked in.
So you still were unsure before In the Thick?
Yeah. I remember the first one that I watched where like mission complete, throw up the banner. Like I was playing, like I was doing it, like, oh snap, that's what this does. This is the one here where I was like, if you know, I don't know if there's anybody ever wrote a joke about how like anybody ever seen a porno from cover to cover.
Porn has credits. I would not know. My brother just said, I don't know if porn has credits. I would not know.
Let me tell you something. In the Thick has credits. I've seen the whole thing. I've seen the behind the scenes. I've seen the edited version. I've seen the scenes that didn't make the cut.